4A Review. Xiaomi Redmi 4A Review. This is a solid budget option for Rs 5,999. Xiaomi Redmi 4A on sale at Amazon for Rs 5,999. Here are key features. The Redmi series has anchored Xiaomi in the sub-Rs 10,000 segment in India. The company launched its first Redmi smartphone, the Redmi 1S, in India in August 2014, and it was received well here. At a recent event, Xiaomi stressed how the Redmi 1S was a phone way ahead of its time and claimed that the new Redmi 4A is exactly the same. That might be true, because other phones in the series including the Redmi 2, and Redmi 2 Prime, in 2015, and Redmi 3S, and Redmi 3S Prime, in 2016 have impressed us consistently. These models have also been regular fixtures in our lists of the best smartphones under Rs 10,000. Xiaomi has already had one big success in 2017, selling over 1 million units of the Redmi Note 4 within a record 45 days of its launch. The Chinese company hopes to keep that momentum going with the Redmi 4A, which brings features such as VoLTE and a 13-megapixel rear camera to the budget segment. Will the new Xiaomi Redmi 4A be as big a hit for the company? We try to find out in our review. Xiaomi Redmi 4A design. One of the first things you notice when you hold the Xiaomi Redmi 4A in your hands is that despite looking a lot like metal, the body is actually polycarbonate. The rear panel has separate segments at the top and bottom that mimic the antenna bands seen on metal-bodied Redmi models. The new smartphone closely follows the design language of previous Redmi phones, and buyers in this price segment won't be disappointed. With a relatively small 5-inch screen, the Redmi 4A is compact and therefore easy to use with just one hand. The volume rocker and power button are easily accessible on the right side, while the hybrid SIM slot is on the left. The charging port is on the bottom, and there's a 3.5mm audio jack and infrared emitter on the top. From the rear, this phone looks strikingly similar to the Redmi 3S. The Mi branding and the speaker grille at the back are identical to those on the Redmi 3S. There is no fingerprint reader on the Redmi 4A, which isn't a surprise considering its price tag. The phone has slightly curved edges, though we would prefer the overall shape of the Redmi 3S, which is more rounded and fits better in a palm, in our experience. On the Redmi 4A, the sides meet the edges with only a slight curve. However, the rear panel of this phone has a matte finish and offers a slightly better grip. At roughly 132 grams, the Redmi 4A is lighter than the Redmi 3S, which weighs 144 grams. Xiaomi announced at the India launch that the Redmi 4A is the lightest Redmi ever. Notably, both models are 8.5mm thick. The Redmi 4A has been launched in 3 colors, dark gray, gold, and rose gold. We received a dark gray unit for review. The Xiaomi Redmi 4A comes with a charger, micro USB cable, warranty card, user guide, and SIM eject tool. As with other Xiaomi products, the Redmi 4A's retail box doesn't include a headset, which might be disappointing for some users. The retail box flaunts a Made in India tag. At its launch event, Xiaomi stated that 95% of its phones are now manufactured in India. Xiaomi Redmi 4A specifications and software. The Redmi 4A features a 5-inch HD, 720 by 1280 pixel display and boasts of a 296 pixel density. The company claims that the screen can reproduce 72% of the NTSC color gamut. The display is vivid, and color reproduction is adequate. We had no problems using the phone under direct sunlight. Text and images appear sharp while videos look good. The Redmi 4A offers a reading mode which makes colors easier on the eyes, and also allows color temperature adjustment through the Settings app. The smartphone is powered by a quad-core Snapdragon 425 processor clocked at 1.4 GHz, with integrated Adreno 308 graphics. It has 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of storage, which can be expanded using a microSD card, up to 128 GB. The handset packs a non-removable 3120 mAh battery, which the company claims can deliver 7 days of standby time. Apart from 4G with VoLTE, the Redmi 4A supports Bluetooth 4.1, Wi-Fi 801.11b/g/n, GPS/AGPS, and GLONASS. The Redmi 4A packs 16 GB onboard storage, out of which users get roughly 10 GB of usable space, and this means that we had to rely on expandable storage. The infrared emitter on the Redmi 4A lets you control various appliances at home and works well with a variety of set-top boxes and TVs. The loudspeaker on the handset is loud enough to fill a small room, and you should not expect it to outperform phones priced twice as high as this one. Earphones are not bundled with the unit, so we checked audio quality through our own wired earphones, and it was decent. Xiaomi offers various audio tweaking options in the Settings app. The phone supports video formats like HEVC and MPEG-4 among others, plus popular audio formats including PCM, AAC/EAC+, MP3, FLAC, and WAV. One of the highlights of the Xiaomi Redmi 4A is that it supports VoLTE, Voice over LTE, and the handset was able to latch onto networks even in areas with weak signals. Call quality was decent, and we could have long conversations comfortably because of how small and light this phone is. We didn't feel any overheating during our review. The Redmi 4A got respectable scores in our benchmark tests. It managed 27,567 in Antutu, 16,693 overall in Quadrant, 3,684 in 3DMark Ice Storm Extreme, and 13 FPS in Geekbench's T-Rex test. The non-removable 3120 mAh battery gave us an impressive 12 hours and 35 minutes in our HD video loop test. With heavy real-world usage, the Redmi 4A was a powerhouse, and easily lasted for over a day. It's worth noting that this was without using the power saver mode. We did try this mode on the Redmi 4A when the battery was down to just 20%, and it gave us 8 hours of light usage beyond that. You can choose apps to exempt from restrictions due to the battery saver. We found that the phone took less than 2 hours to charge fully. Fast charging isn't supported, but this shouldn't be a deal breaker for consumers looking for a smartphone at this price. Verdict: the new Redmi 4A definitely raises the bar for smartphones at this price level, and we expect it to be very popular. At Rs. 5,999, the Redmi 4A offers a lot of features, especially VoLTE support. Camera performance is decent, and the polycarbonate body, 3120 mAh battery, and software are all satisfactory. It will be interesting to see how well the Redmi 4A performs compared to the Redmi 3S, which is still available at Rs. 6,999. For just Rs. 1,000 more, users can get a metal body, better Snapdragon 430 processor, and more battery power if they choose to buy a Redmi 3S instead. The Redmi 4A seems to be targeted at first-time smartphone buyers, and for that audience, it seems like a decent option.